Hey there guys, and welcome back to another reaction video. Sorry if I'm a bit off in this video. It's due to the fact that at the time of recording, it's my stepmother's birthday. And I may have had a single glass of Johnny Walker, which hits like a truck, by the way. Anyway, today we'll be reacting to SCP-3456. Yeah. The Orcadian Horsemen, or Orcadian Horsemen. Let's see what this is for this SCP, because it's the first one I've heard of it. So yeah, let's press play and see what's gonna happen, shall we?
It's 1916. Right in the middle of World War I, and a British soldier is huddled in a trench, occasionally peeking over the top. He's supposed to be on watch, but there's little to see in the darkness that hangs over no man's land. But then, he spots something big. It's a shadowy figure, only about 20 feet away,
translucent skin, I bet.
And it looks like it's digging in the mud.
If the thumbnail's anything to say,
it's too dark to make out what he's looking at.
If the thumbnail's anything to tell
so
about,
the soldier shoots a flare into the sky,
whatever,
lighting up the battlefield with a dull red light.
Heyo!
Now he can see it clearly, and it's like nothing he's ever seen before.
That's the result of bestiality right there.
Picking up bodies out of the mud. The soldier can only stare, petrified by what he's seeing in front of him,
back at him,
when the creature suddenly turns to stare back at him, and smiles.
What the fuck? I was kidding.
I'm Dr. Bob, and this is SCP-3456, also known as the Orcadian Horsemen.
That would actually be a great horror movie.
SCP-3456 is the designation given to a group of quadrupeds, of which the exact number that exists is unknown. These entities resemble horses, though with some marked differences. SCP-3456s lack any hair, and their thick skin is translucent.
I mean, you think they would have some minor differences? I don't know what would give them that idea. Maybe the, I don't know, the human torso sticking out of its ass? You never know. Might be that, might not be, you know?
Revealing the fat and muscle underneath. They have three-toed hooves, and strangest of all, they have one or more human-shaped torsos fused to their backs.
Really? Do they now?
Each torso has a pair of arms and a head,
not like we're blind,
but no legs. The torso seeming to meld directly into the back of the creature's horse-like body. The arms are much longer than those of a human.
Great horror movie monster.
That is double the anomaly's height. The arms are so long, they typically drag along the ground when the creature moves. At the end of each arm are 5 sharpened bones that protrude from where fingers would normally be. Instead of a nose, most instances of SCP-3456 have a hole in the middle of the face, which is capable of producing a high-pitched scream that is as loud as a jet engine.
Oh boy.
SCP-3456 instances vary in size, with the largest recorded manifestation standing 30 meters tall and 15 meters long.
And that's
Their bodies have also shown to be quite resilient and are completely impervious to conventional weaponry.
Neat.
The anomalous creatures have displayed a high level of adaptive intelligence, using complex tactics like setting up ambushes through the use of property destruction and psychological manipulation to lure targets into traps. This high level of intelligence has led many at the Foundation to believe that SCP-3456 is sapient.
Maybe. I don't know.
Any direct observation of an SCP-3456 instance will cause the entity to become aware of its observer, at which point it will display this awareness by turning in the exact direction of the observer. Once an instance of SCP-3456 has spotted its observer, it will engage in predatory behavior, stalking its witness and pursuing them far beyond the initial site of manifestation, all the while concealing itself and using camouflage as it chases them. SCP-3456 will repeat this behavior over and over, intentionally letting itself be seen by observers over and over as it hunts down and takes each one, until it has captured a large number of individuals and suddenly dematerializes. It's currently unknown
See ya,
where
bitch.
SCP-3456 takes its
Get out of
victims,
existence.
or what happens to them once it dematerializes. Nor is it known
Maybe
how
they're
many
turned
victims
into other
3456
instances
needs to capture
by chance?
before it is satisfied and dematerializes for good, as the number taken has varied between instances. It's not currently understood why, but SCP-3456 is either unwilling or unable to cross bodies of fresh water. And making it to the other side of a freshwater source like a river, lake, or even a stream is the only currently known way to escape the anomaly once it begins its pursuit.
Like crossing water.
Instances of SCP-3456 typically appear near sites of mass human suffering, such as
then they had a field day in the first two world wars.
And there have been numerous reports and sightings of 3456s at historical events throughout the 19th, 20th, and 21st centuries, with multiple manifestations often appearing at the same event.
You know, I can just imagine seeing like a Roman soldier at a massive battle, looking out on the battlefield and seeing SCP-3456 just walking across the battlefield, and then going like, "What the fuck?" And then fast forward a couple of years to the First World War. A soldier sees it walking around. "What the fuck?" Second World War. "What the fuck?"
One Foundation report
nowadays they'll probably just go
SCP-3456 instance
I've
appearing
seen
during
worse
the First World
in
War at the
2020.
Battle of the Somme. Rumors spread through the British troops in their trenches of the appearance of a mythical creature many believed to be the Nukkalavi, a horse-like demon with origins in Orcadian mythology. Like many SCPs, this ancient folktale turned out to have very real origins.
1.
British infantryman Dave.
You know, ads are annoying. But even if you use Patrick Stewart in an ad, it's still gonna be fucking annoying. Yes, the ad that I cut out was using Patrick Stewart. Anyway, continuing with the video.
Kept a journal which described giant hoof prints appearing in the battlefield mud, and soldiers disappearing under mysterious circumstances, appearing to be killed by forces even more terrifying than what the war could produce. Harkand describes one soldier who was firing on advancing Germans when the mud beneath his feet started boiling. Before anyone could react, mud went flying everywhere, and everyone was knocked off their feet. The soldier was gone, not even a body part remained, and Harkand was sure he saw bony protrusions reaching up out of the mud underneath the soldier just before he disappeared. Not long after, Harkand spotted the Orcadian Horsemen on the battlefield, and the Horsemen spotted Harkand. He watched as the instance of SCP-345...
Yes, and the instance of SCP-3456 looked back at Harkand and said, "Hey there, come here often?"
6 picked bodies out of the mud and carried them off
I'm
into
allowed
the
my
darkness.
fun.
He took several shots at the entity with his rifle, but the bullets had no effect.
That's one
As
tough
days
son
passed,
of a motherfucker.
the half-man, half-horse continued to appear night after night, always doing the same thing, picking up injured soldiers off the battlefield and taking them into the darkness.
Injured or dead.
It would always look back at Harkand, seemingly taunting him or inviting him to try following it. Soon more instances of SCP-3456 appeared, many with more than one torso on their back.
I mean, I only see one with
they
more
began
than one
laying
torso.
traps, burying themselves in the mud and waiting for the soldiers to rush over them. Dave Harkand was declared missing in action at the Battle of the Somme, and it's presumed he was taken by the same instance of SCP-3456 that he first observed.
You don't say.
Another first-hand account of an encounter with SCP-3456 occurred following the 2011 earthquake and subsequent nuclear disaster in Fukushima, Japan.
Well,
with over 2,500 missing persons.
That's only
several
9 years
manifestations
ago.
of SCP-3456
Wink, wink.
were reported in the areas affected by the quake, and SCP Foundation reconnaissance teams were sent to investigate, 2 of which were quickly wiped out during the encounters with 3456s.
I mean, that's kind of obvious,
One
though.
squad, after exploring the evacuated city and not finding anything, spotted an instance of SCP-3456
It's a
standing
trap.
motionless in the middle of an intersection.
Seriously, it's a trap.
As they laid eyes on the Orcadian Horsemen, the human torso that was hanging limp off the motionless horse's body stood upright and began swinging its arms, damaging and destroying the buildings and structures around it. It then turned towards the team and emitted an ear-shatteringly loud shriek from the hole where its nose should be, before...
Honestly, if someone were to like make a D&D game or session with you know, SCP monsters in it, not specifically like SCP Foundation type of campaign, just with the monsters itself in it, I'd totally add this one. I mean, might be great, and probably will result in a party wipe. Anyway, continuing with the video.
Beginning its pursuit. The team immediately began evacuation procedures,
It just
even
slapped
ordering
the
a drone
camera.
strike in an attempt to slow down the chasing anomaly.
That's not gonna help.
The team took shelter in an abandoned high-rise building,
Half the
but knew
team's
that
gonna
only
die.
chance of escape was if they could make it over the nearest body of fresh water, which would mean crossing
come
a
on,
bridge
another
over the
ad.
Arakawa
Really?
River, which was a kilometer
Well,
away.
fuck you, YouTube.
The team
YouTube's really trying to force people here to buy YouTube Premium. I mean, I can just edit the ads out of the recorded video. And just so you guys know, currently I don't have like monetization on my videos anyway, because I lack the subscribers for that, yada yada, blah blah blah. So feel free to skip them.
was 50 yards away from the bridge with no further signs of SCP-3456 when one emerged from a side street right
Hey
next
there,
to them.
come here often.
Small arms fire was used against the creature, and 2 rocket-propelled grenades were fired at it, but all had no effect. A flashbang detonated in the anomaly's face bought enough time for some of the squad to make it across the bridge and escape. But 2 members of the team were carried away by
I'll take these back home.
SCP-3456, with the last image captured by one of the squad's helmet-mounted cams, being a shot of the Orcadian Horseman smiling just before it demanifested.
And then everyone who views that picture
SCP-3456 is currently uncontained.
Kedder.
And due to its extremely dangerous nature and the lack of any containment procedures,
Kedder.
it has been designated Kedder Class.
Called
Any
it.
personnel who observe the entity are to be treated with Class G amnestics, and their assigned treatment facility must be located within 1 kilometer of a body of fresh water. The Foundation has an ongoing project to attribute any historical references to SCP-3456 to myth, shell shock, hysteria, or PTSD, and any reports of loss of life or property damage involving the anomaly are to be replaced with explanations that attribute the cause to other natural or man-made events. Regions where SCP-3456 is more likely to appear are to be closely monitored with personnel ready to assist in evacuation efforts.
Right.
But above all else, direct observation of SCP-3456 must
Results
be
in
avoided,
death.
since once that has happened, there's very little even the SCP Foundation can do to protect you. Now go and watch another entry from the files of Dr. Bob, and be sure...
Dr. Bob. You know, I actually like this SCP, and I did a while back have like an idea where I do like SCP readings, but considering I am dyslexic in that regard, yeah, not a good idea. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. Again, this SCP is great for a horror movie, and if you make a D&D session with SCP monsters, definitely add this one. Anyway, again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah, bye.